Hello, welcome to the second to last video covering MSI 2022. Obviously, yesterday, RNG beat T1. Here, I'm going to go over my MVP for the whole entire tournament. So keep in mind, this is the whole tournament. Not just the last week, not just the last 2 weeks, but the whole thing. And go over first, second, third team players. I guess the top 3 players at each role at the tournament. Keep in mind, the person that suggested this wanted an all rookie team, but really there were only like one rookie in every role, so it would have been kind of a waste of time. There's no discussion really to be had in most cases. So MVP I'm going to do last. We're going to start with top lane. First in top is tough because Ben and Zayas both played great. And in the end, it comes down to who won on the final day, which is like against what I just said. How did people do all tournament long? It's really tough because I thought Ben did really well at times. I thought Zayas did well at times. And over this past weekend, Zayas did really well against G2. But Ben outplayed Zayas pretty handily in the series to decide it. Really when you think about it, it was really only them two. So first, I'm going to end up going with Ben. And also keep in mind, I am a fan of Ben. So Zayas is second. And third, I'm going to have BB, Broken Blade. I thought Broken Blade played a great tournament. Great tournament, especially against EG and Order in the group stage. He also did well during Rumble stage. It would have been nice if he could have done a little bit more against Zayas. He got really outplayed by Zayas, but I do think that it was a pretty top-heavy role. Hosmid looked good for Saigon Buffalo at times. I'm trying to think back to the teams that were even kicked out. I don't think really many of the teams in the first set. I don't think Starscreen struggled, Gigo struggled, Eevee struggled, Lonely wasn't very good. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, Impact struggled big time. I mean, part of me, I think Hosmid does deserve honorable mention. I thought Hosmid did well. One of the few bright spots for Saigon Buffalo at times in their losses. When it comes down to jungle, very similar to my opinion in regards to top. However, I do think this is pretty easy. I think Wei is easily the top jungler. I thought Wei did great throughout this entire thing. Followed by Owner. And it's a shame the Lee Sin only came out in Game 4 and Game 5 in the finals. I thought that it'd be higher prio. Obviously, Wukong, Viego. I think the Nocturne was really silly by T1. I don't think they needed to do that. Speaking of the Nocturne, Jankos. I thought Jankos. Now this is, people are going to, Inspired, I think, may have played better at times. I think he may have played better at times than Jankos, but he just didn't have the carry performances that Jankos did that resulted in wins. And it sucks because, people are going to say, oh, well, look at what happened. I like Inspired a lot. I really do. I can't emphasize it enough. Inspired is one of those junglers I'm really, rooting for all the time. So, Jankos played really well. At times, he was the only thing working for G2, especially during Rumble stage. The second half of Rumble stage, he was what was working for G2. Thinking back, Bean J looked okay at times, but early on in group stage, he was not very good. I don't think Juhan was very good. Thinking back, Aegis looked okay, or Aegis looked okay at times. I need my eraser. See, I just forgot. This is cheating. I'm trying to do this offhand. And be as fair as I can. But really, I just thought about it. And hot take, hot take, hot take, hot take, hot take. I thought Steele was the only player working for Detonation Focus Me throughout group stage. He was great on Wukong. Absolutely great. Him and Aegis both played great games, but I believe Steele, he deserves some love. I, yes, Steele was great. And if you probably forgot, or you're a G2 fan and you're not even thinking about, oh, why would the Japanese jungler be there? Well, you probably should have watched the games for Detonation Focus Me, their wins, even their losses. Steele was massive. He was very good. And that was the only, limited looks we had of him. We're going to continue the RNG train in mid for a second. Xiaohu played a great tournament. Set the tone, set the meta. As far as I'm concerned, RNG set the meta, and everyone else was trying to play against it. And G2 had found something that worked. RNG did it better, and then everyone was trying to figure out how to beat RNG throughout the whole rest of the tournament. And Xiaohu was a big reason why. The Ari, the LeBlanc, the Galio at the end. Xiaohu was a trendsetter for this tournament. Second is Caps. Caps, I would say, had probably during group stage, he was the best player in the tournament. Throughout some of Rumble stage, he was the best player in the tournament. But the second half of Rumble stage and this weekend, Caps was non-existent pretty much. And, people might not like this, but I watched all the LEC games this past split. And, I had my doubts about G2 going into this event because at times in the LEC, they just crapped out. There's a reason why the record was the way it was. There's a reason why they blew some games. And that's what happened. They rode the winning streak just like EG did. And in the end, they hit a wall towards the end of Rumble stage, and they could not recover after that. The streak was over. But Caps, very, very good group stage. First half of Rumble stage. I'm trying to think of mid laners right now. Oh, geez. I don't want to put JoJo here. I really don't even want to put Faker in here. Part of me, I think I'm going to have to. I thought Froggy played great towards the end, but in groups, he struggled a lot. Saren only played one good game. Gravthar really didn't do much. Kisei looked really good day one. He was something interesting if you really think back to Team Order. I think I'm going to have to go with... oh, geez. It's not going to be them. This is a tough one. Comment down below. Who do you think should be first, second, third in these roles? Give a little bit of why. Obviously, this is up for debate. I think that is really up for debate. Think of the whole tournament, though. It's very easy to pick the final four teams and fill this up with them. But I think it is doing a disservice to the smaller teams that may have one really good player that hard carried and deserves a little bit of recognition for that. I think in the end I'm going to have to pick Faker. I don't want to, but I don't think I don't think Froggy or Bay did enough. And the smaller regions, I think this was a role where they really lacked, and that's why they lost so much in group stage. That's why they didn't move on. I think a lot of people would agree with that. So bot lane, I feel like bot was the weakest role at this tournament. In the end, bot lane was the weakest role. People don't... I have a lot of EU people that watch, and they don't like my opinion on Flakked. I think Flacked's along for the ride, and when G2 faltered, Flakked could not carry. I think Flakked goes along for the ride. I think in this tournament, which we're going to get into, before the end of this video what I think was the situation with G2. And I said it a few times if you followed along. But clearly number one is Gala. This is without a doubt. And people, look, oh, wow, it's all RNG. Look at this guy. RNG just won, and he's picking all RNG. Well, when a guy has like a 60, what is it, 64 or something KDA on KSA, and he has 2 pentakills, 1 unofficial, how do you not make him the number one guy? How do you not do it? I mean, the guy was dominant. And then number 2, this is where people are going to be shocked here. I thought Shogun was a beast. I thought Shogun. See, it's funny. It's like full circle, because before this event started, when I started my previews, Saigon Buffalo was the first team, and at the time Shogun wasn't officially going to be able to play at MSI for some reason, and Big Koro was listed as the starter. And I took a lot of heat for doing that, and I said, well, this is what it says. And I had him 11th because his stats indicated what he was. And it is the situation that I went over countless times throughout the MSI process. The smaller regions, I only saw stats. So when it comes to seeing them play, it's a different story. Shogun and Taki had some serious gonads in bot. They started the tournament off with a 2v2 kill, and they never let up. Shogun was just fabulous down there. Honest to God, I thought, and towards the end of Rumble stage, we saw that again. I thought Shogun was, like, bot lane was the weakest role. Because I don't think Gumayushi struggled a lot. Flackett struggled towards the end. Danny struggled throughout the whole entire tournament. Like, these two, you knew what you were getting out of them every game. Like, Shogun was going to play aggressive. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. I'm trying to think of, not Utapon. I mean, I could pick Holy Phoenix. Wouldn't that be something if I had Holy Phoenix on this list? Guy got banned out like we wouldn't believe. Only won 1 game, though. Maybe 2. I don't really recall exactly. Cheeton. I don't think Cheeton is really supposed to be on this list. Neither is Puma. I think in the end, I'm going to pick Flackett. Flackett played better than Danny, but I think there's a drop-off here because, I mean, Flackett, where was Flackett the last week? Same place as all of G2 except for Yankos. I don't think Guma played all that well. Let me make sure I'm on my board. Yeah. Guma, I don't think played all that well. Like I said, he was very hit or miss for a lot of this tournament. Support, this is where it ends now. I think Targamas, which is a hot take. I think Keria is better than Targamas. Don't get me wrong. But Targamas was G2. I think Targamas got Flackett ahead, helped that bot side. Targamas' pike was disgusting throughout groups in the first half of Rumble stage. There was nobody else more dominant than Targamas in the beginning of this tournament. I mean, he played very, very well. He played great League of Legends. Make sure I'm still on the board. Yeah. Played great League of Legends. I thought Targamas was fabulous. Second is Keria. Keria, obviously, over the weekend played great. He had performances that made you think he was carrying. Which is going to be kind of weird that I'm not... spoiler alert. Ming won't be listed here. Even though Ming ended up being the MVP of the finals to me because of how he performed Game 1. He got the 2v2 kill. Game 1, he had 100% kill participation to get them ahead. His Nautilus was very good. And then in Game 5, his Rakan was a game decider, set the tone early on. Ming played well at times throughout this tournament. And a lot of times he just kind of was quietly there, not doing crazy plays. I thought support and jungle actually ended up being the 2 best roles at this tournament. Like, we thought going into it, mid would be really, really good. But in the end, like, Faker was relevant at times, but other times he wasn't. And Xiaohu and Caps were really good. But jungle, I mean, felt like was a game decider with the Wukong and the Viego and the Lee Sin. And support, Targamas, Keria. And then we're going to give PSG some love here. We're going to put Kai Wing down here. Kai Wing was the lifeblood of PSG. Kai Wing was great throughout group stage. He was great throughout Rumble stage. They were struggling as a team, swapping out top laners to start it off. But Kai Wing, consistently one of the best players in the PCS, if not, my opinion, maybe the best player in the PCS. Without watching it, I just know Kai Wing's been around a long time, representing the team. And going into this tournament, I even said Kai Wing's really good. And Vulcan is probably the 6th best support at this tournament. And that's being generous. The guy was awful. I don't have any EG players on here. That's because EG, I don't think any specific role did all that well. Inspired was the best player, but the results were not there when it came to wins. And when they won, it was somebody else doing something well. JoJo doing okay in a game. Danny doing okay in a game. But this is how I have it right now. And MVP is really tough. Right, it's between Wei and Xiaohu for me. And I'm going to have to go Xiaohu. I think I talked myself into it. Going into this, I was going to pick Wei. But after talking myself into it, talking about how the meta changed, Xiaohu changed the meta. He said it and changed it. And then the Lissandra in the end, he's the one that brought that out. And they were like, no one's like, we're not going to ban it. We're not going to ban it. Well, guess what? Was the pick. That was the pick. RNG had a dominant performance throughout this whole entire MSI. I had them second going in, and they won. They played a great series. They played a great tournament in general. That's kind of it for me for my MVP and all pro teams. Like I said, comment down below with an opinion of your own. How do you think it turned out? All opinions are fine. Stay tuned tomorrow. I'm going to go over individual champion matchups. Not specifically diving in or anything, but just going over the stats like I've done in the past, which you probably weren't here for. But nevertheless, that's kind of the deal right now. Stay tuned. I'm doing LPL summer previews right now. I'm going to do the other 3 regions, each team individually, as well as one video each for the minor regions, just going over some, stats and things like that I don't have time to watch the smaller regions play, so there'll be separate videos, but whatever. Stay tuned for that. Stay with me. I know a lot of you joined for MSI. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.